Hi, welcome again to another episode of Lawson Woods PNW. This week, I thought I'd tell you a little bit of why I decided to go the tiny house route and why many other people choose to live tiny. I'll start with this. I was a renter for many, many, many years, and I did not see a way out or an option for me to be able to be a homeowner. I thought and I won't age myself, but just to give you a rough idea, I'm in my mid to late 40s, and I thought I was going to have to rent for the rest of my life. And I just couldn't do it. I couldn't fathom giving away my money to other people for the rest of my life. I just had to find a way out of the rat race. I knew there was a way to do it, but I wasn't quite sure. And I had a friend of mine. Hi, Ziggy. Ziggy's here to say hello. I had a friend of mine who went and did the tiny house thing. He built his own tiny house, and it really inspired me. And I actually got to help him a little bit with it. So that was the first step. I thought, well, if this guy can do it, why can't I? Maybe I can't build my own house per se, but there's got to be something that I can do to turn my life around. So I started doing a little research, and then I ended up getting my first tiny house, which was, I called it affectionately the micro tiny house. And it was at first just a weekend getaway. I used it for that. It was very small, it was only 92 square feet. Um, People do live in tiny houses that are that small, and in fact, a few years later, it became my primary residence when I moved to the state of Washington. So, you know, once I decided that, okay, I can live this lifestyle, I can live in this small of a house, then it came down to the fact that I wanted to actually own property too. And so I really started searching for property. Now, this could be tricky, and my experience is my experience. Your experience may be very different. And you need to look into the jurisdictions, the laws, the regulations of the county and or city and state that you live in. Here in Washington, yes, you can live in a tiny house, but it is still up to the local county, city, what have you. And not all of them accept them. So when you are looking, that's something you want to make sure that you're looking for. Is it something that can be done? Um, what are the logistics behind it? What do you need to have? Here in this particular state, we have what's called L&I, or Labor and Industry, that regulates tiny houses. And so I am fortunate that we do have that as an option here. Not every place does. Some people choose to do the backyard thing. Some people choose to live in a community. When I first started in the micro tiny house, I was renting a space in a mobile home park because that was what was allowed. It was a place that allowed me to do it. So there are options for you out there. And there were options for me too. So fast forward a few years of having my micro tiny house, which I just loved. I just loved that place. But it wasn't for me enough space. So I ended up purchasing property out here in Washington, a little over a half an acre, and it's just beautiful. It's my sanctuary. But when it came, sorry about that. What it came down to was the fact that I wanted my own space. I didn't want to continue to pay rent to somebody, whether it be a landlord or a mobile home park or what have you. And so I was able to go through a private person, an individual, and I came up with an idea. And I said, hey, would you consider letting me buy this on a land contract basis for 3 years? And thankfully, the gentleman did that. And so now I own the property flat out, which is amazing. And after that, I realized, ooh, this micro tiny house of 92 square feet just isn't a whole lot of room. What else can I do? Can I find another tiny house? Can I build a tiny house? Well, at the time, I didn't necessarily have the wherewithal or the know-how to build a tiny house or a structure. I mean, I guess I could have, but I didn't feel that my skills at that time were strong enough. So then I started looking on tinyhouselistings.com, and then I found a project that was half completed, which is the tiny house I live in now. It's a 28 by 8 foot and 13 and a half foot tall tiny house, which I call the Seahorse Inn, just so you know. But anyways, it was unfinished, and I had to do a lot of work, and I had to do a lot of research. So I went on YouTube University, like so many of us do, and I learned how to put a kitchen in. I learned how to put a bathroom in. I learned how to build a bathroom wall. I learned how to make repairs. Keyword there. So the structure that I bought, this particular house that you're currently seeing now, was not perfect by any means. In fact, you may have seen other videos of mine, and you'll see other upcoming videos about the fact that this house was not perfect. I had to hire a plumber later on twice. Had to hire an electrician to come out and help fix some of the issues. And now it's great. It's my home. I love it. I can't there's no complaints. I'm very happy with it. But were there disasters along the way? Yes. So that's okay. Just something to look out for. If you can, don't do what I do, or rather, don't do what I did. Put yourself out there, ask, seek, and if you can, before you purchase a tiny house, or any structure for that matter, or home for that matter, you should always get an inspection. And if you can't get an inspection, then hire a few people to look over the structure for you. I would consider an electrician, a plumber, maybe a structural engineer, something, to make sure that your home is safe. So I did talk about this a little bit in previous videos, and please feel free to check them out at Lawson Woods PNW. But so I won't go into too much of those details. But I was fortunate enough to learn along the way and make improvements to my home. And now I'm debt-free. The land is paid for. The tiny house is paid for. I'm a homeowner, which from somebody who went from being a renter for their whole lives to finally owning my own home and space has really changed my life. And some of the ways it's changed is offered financial freedom. I'm able to now put money towards retirement, to put money towards savings, eventually take a vacation, a well-earned and much-needed vacation, and eventually I'll be doing that too. So it's really set me up for success at this point. So I want you to consider going tiny, but you need to do your research. You need to be prepared that things may not always work out the way you expect them to. So just a word of caution. Research, research, research. And don't be afraid to ask questions. And if you can, buy a tiny house that's been certified. There are certifications that can be done very similar to RV certifications, for instance. So there are resources out there that can help you. You just need to do the work, do the legwork. Don't be afraid to call. Don't be afraid to Google. Don't be afraid to seek help if you're unsure. So you can avoid some of the potential problems that may come with buying somebody else's project. Anyways, for me, it's really changed my life around tremendously. I can't tell you how thankful and excited I am to own my own space and my own home. So thank you for joining me today here in Lawson Woods, Pacific Northwest. If you've enjoyed this video, don't be afraid to like, share, comment, and subscribe, please. I'm getting very close to having this channel monetized. I'm at almost 1,000 subscribers, and I need a certain amount of hours watched per year, and I'm getting really close to that. It'd be a wonderful way to help supplement my income so I can continue to make these videos and help you learn how you can go tiny and change your life. Thanks for joining me today. Ciao. See you in the next video. Bye-bye.